Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Delta.app One Hub Racing season. We're here for round number 3. Is, of course, myself, Michael Edwards, and joined in the commentary box, as always, by Mr. Ivan Tonsek. How are you doing, Ivan?
Good evening, everyone. And here we are in the land down under for round 3 of season 28 of One Hub Racing in P2 tier. I'm doing fine, Mike. Thanks for asking, and hopefully everyone does, as everyone else does as well. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, round number 3 sees us head to the land down under. As you mentioned, we're here in Australia for round number 3. It is, of course, Melbourne. It is Albert Park, and it is a track, Ivan, where DRS is going to be crucial because there are 4 DRS zones around this track and only 2 detection points. That is, of course, the detection point between turn 6 and 7 for the DRS down through towards turn 9, 10, and of course again for down towards turn 11, and then of course another detection zone in between 12 and 13 for the run down the start finish straight and the run in towards turn number 3. And honestly, looking at this track and just the sheer quality of racing that we've had here over seasons gone by in One Hub, it has been an absolute spectacle. And obviously, we've seen 2 races happen early on tonight in P4 and P3. I think the margin for error is going to get even closer now as we come through towards P2.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be absolutely no room for error. To be fair, even in lower tiers, there was no room for error because the fields are actually really, really close in every tier. So one mistake and you are gone.
Yeah, absolutely. One mistake, you are gone indeed. And of course, the drivers are out there right now on their outlap. So we'll transfer you over to the action on track in just a moment. And okay, there we go. I was hoping then that the audio and everything would come through as it went. It went a bit haywire for me, but of course we know the weather conditions, Ivan. Of course, it was revealed to us it is going to be a clear in both sessions. How thankful do you think the drivers are going to be for that here tonight?
I mean, everyone has its own preferences, but I think most of the drivers will want this track running dry than in wet, simply because this track it is a street track, but it's not a typical street track. It's has flowing corners. It's a very fast one, especially after the modifications done in 2002. And this track is a really big challenge, even in the best of conditions, let alone in wet.
Yeah, absolutely. Currently on board with Cam K. Munro, I believe is going to be the first person to set a lap time, of course, on the run down in towards turn number 3. The DRS was wide open, 3rd gear, the gear choice there for the Red Bull, now coming through turn 4 in towards turn 5, where you need to make sure that you are keeping your foot in, because you can very easily lose a bit of time there. And through turn 6 and 7, using a little bit of that outside curb there for Cam K. Through turn 8 now, and DRS will be wide open. And of course, now they've removed that chicane that was there in the middle sector, it's much more free-flowing coming through the middle sector now, where you can really make some overtakes happen. 43.7 in the middle sector as we go for the left-right chicane at 10 and 9. And now DRS wide open once again, running down into 11, and it is important to get a good run out of turn 10 because the DRS is going to help you gain so much time down towards turn 11 as we go through 12 now, breaking down in towards turn number 13, getting the car rotated absolutely lovely, and through the final corner at turn 14 to the line, DRS wide open. Cam K will set an initial lap time of a 16.9. Good lap time.
Yeah, really competitive time from Cam, but that gets obliterated as I speak. Williams is front row lockout as it stands for now.
I mean, we're already into the 1 minute 15s. Now, I was predicting maybe a 15.7, a 15.6 as a pole position. I'm not going to lie, Zonto immediately into the 15s is going to be very, very interesting to see what these drivers do. As we got Moki to the line, it's a 16.3 for the Ferrari. And right now at the top, it is 2 Williams followed by 2 Ferraris.
Like 90s all over again.
Absolutely, the 90s all over again indeed. Now, Richards just popped up there into P8 with a 16.6. As we got Nicholas, who I believe is on a flying lap, using a bit of battery. Let's see what the first sector split is saying from Nicholas here as we come through. Now, one thing we do have to mention, of course, is we do have some new drivers to P2. Of course, you may have noticed in the Haas, we got Chris, who has stepped down from P1 into P2, and it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Of course, he was struggling a little bit in P1, but he's a very quick driver, so he's going to be up there fighting with the likes of Zondal, Kinney, Salo, Mokri, Jacob, Larkin, Lukey. He's going to be in amongst it, that's for sure. And then, of course, Alfredo, I believe this is his first race of the season for him as well. He's currently in P7. So a couple of new drivers here to P2. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on as Nicholas goes up in the P13.
Yeah, it'll really be interesting indeed. It's always interesting to see when the new drivers join the field. How can they impact the field? Can they fight? Can they make it? Can they make a great impact already, or they'll just be one more car to the grid, or they'll just add up to the numbers. But I think that won't be the case with these new drivers. I think they'll be competitive straight away because this year is really competitive, and I think these new drivers will also be a good addition to the P2 grid.
Roach is on board with Kermit. They're losing the back end coming through turn 12. Another new driver to the grid, AK Rowe, currently in 14 for the 16.9 in the Haas. So another new face to the P2 grid, and he is a Welshman. He is a Welshman, and of course it is St. David's Day, so we could, obviously we saw a Welsh podium happen in P3 early on. Could we see another Welsh podium on St. David's Day in P2 as well as P1 later on? Time will tell, but Zondel topping the times at this moment with a 15.9, around about half a tenth ahead of his teammate Kinney, who will join him on the front row at this current moment. Salo is on an outlap, as well as we looks like Kamke about to get second run on the board, and important to not get caught up by traffic, where it looks like Kamke should be able to get out into some nice clear air, as I believe that was one of the Williams getting out of the way, or potentially one of the no, it was the RB getting out of the way in the background.
Yeah, I'm currently on board with Alexa, Aston Martin driver, who really showed his pace in Catalonia, but the story of his season so far is he's really quick, but mistakes costed him big points.
Absolutely, and that is going to be the be-all and end-all when it comes to P2. If you make a mistake, you can lose a lot in terms of your footing in the championship. And obviously, the less mistakes you make, the more consistent you can be, the better your season will go by the end of the championship. Kamke though, final sector, marginally up in the middle sector, coming through turn 11 now, in towards turn number 12. Clipping a bit of that inside curve, which I don't think is really going to help Kamke too much, but I think Kamke would have just lost a little bit of time clipping that curve. But out to the line, DRS wide open, and it is going to be a 16.4. I mean, honestly, I know absolutely nothing. He clipped a bit of that inside curve. It looked like he had a little bit of a moment, but Kamke improves by nearly 0.5 of a second.
You heard him. You heard it. You heard him, everyone. Ivor Bryn Mike himself admitting it, partly admitting it. He is a fraud.
Yep, I know absolutely nothing. But on board now with Salo, who is up in Sector 1. Let's see what the Sector 2 split is going to say for the Ferrari. Again, marginally up in Sector 2 and just about getting away with that inside curve through 10. And that little sequence where it is so easy to invalidate your lap and so easy just either take a little bit too much of the inside curve or take a little bit too much of the outside curve in, and that can just be your lap invalidated, as well as the warnings you can pick up in the race. But Salo now to the line. What's this going to be for the winner of round number 1 in Spain? And it's a 15.7 from Salo, and Mokri immediately joins Salo in the 15.7. So Ferraris have responded.
Tables have turned, ladies and gentlemen.
Kinney's 2 temps up in Sector 2. Let's see what Kinney's final sector is saying. It's a 15.7 for Kinney, splitting the Ferraris as Zontal's about to get his lap underway.
Yeah, and you race earlier. Before this madness happened, the race was in P3, so he's showing his pace immediately. Jacob, out of nowhere, 15.7.
Wow, 4 drivers in the 15.7 here in qualifying with 8 minutes to go in the session. Zondal now going to be under a bit of pressure to respond to this, and he's a 10th down in Sector 1. He's probably not exactly too happy with that, but let's see if he can find a little bit of time in his middle sector. I believe that's what Zondal's going to do, just to see where he can find the time now. So being a 10th down is hard to gain that back, especially in this grid.
Yeah, he decreased the gap.
He gained about half a tenth there in the middle sector, so he knows there's half a tenth there to be gained for him. Breaking down in towards turn number 11 now. Mr. Zondal, the Williams final sector. What can this be? Of course, 15.9 is the time he currently has, but can he get amongst the 15.7? So can he beat it? Not with a snap like that. Not with a snap like that, he's not. And to the line, is this going to be an improvement for Zondal, or has that snap affected him? It is an improvement. So Zondal, there's definitely the possibility there of a 15.7, maybe a 15.6 for Mr. Zondal.
Yeah, Zondal briefly turned it into Sebastian Loeb there in that last corner, but that won't help him either. I think he at least has 10 or 2 tenths in his lap.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got Alfredo on a lap right now, coming through the final sector. Got 40% battery, so maybe he's actually on a in lap, and I have mistaken it. Yes, I have. So there we go. Alfredo on an in lap as Seco is about to get his lap underway in the Aston Martin. DRS wide open for the man currently in P12. Breaking down in towards turn number 3, third gear, getting the car rotated. A little bit of a lock-up on entry, but not too much time lost there for Seco. Through turn 5 now, in towards the braking at turn number 6. Half a tenth up for Seco. Through turn 6 and 7. Now the run out of 6 and 7 important, so you can gain as much time as possible all the way down to the fast left right of 9 and 10. And again, going to be important to get a good run out of turns 9 and 10 here. And you see he's a tenth and a half up, but he's incredibly low on the battery, so I think he's just going to be hemorrhaging a little bit of time on the run down in towards 11. But yes, the car rotated through 11 nicely. Now through the right-hander at turn number 12 in towards 13 now, getting the car rotated, and yet he goes into the pit. So I think he did hemorrhage a little bit of time running out of the ERS as Alexa invalidated on his lap, as we got Rich who's just getting out of the way.
Larkin is on the lap.
Let's jump on board with the McLaren driver and let's see what Larkin can do as he's down by 800 of a second through sector 1. But of course time can be gained, and that's going to help Larkin as well. A nice little bit of a long range tow perhaps from the car in front as he moves over and gets out of the way. It does the Haas, but Larkin didn't really gain too much from that. Of course, didn't really tuck into the slipstream, did Larkin, but right now, Larkin's final sector has to be a good one. Oh, I think he's touched a little bit of the grass, and I know exactly how that feels, Larkin. I did that earlier in P3, where you just get your line wrong on the entry, touch a little bit of the
on
grass.
The lap. Sorry for cutting in, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Mokri on a lap, but Salo, I believe, is also on a lap up ahead. So, actually, no, Salo was on an invalid run, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Mokri in first sector split, marginally down in sector 1, but you see the way that Mokri just threw the car through turn 60. And that is how you want to do it, throwing the car through, trying to carry as much speed as possible to release yourself onto this long run down in towards turn 9. A little bit of the inside curve hit for Mokri, and I think that might have just stopped his momentum just slightly, but he is still going, is Mokri, so let's see what the Ferrari can do. 3 minutes to go now in the session as Mokri through turn number 12 in towards the braking now for turn number 13, and let's see if the Ferrari's going to peel off into the pitch. Yes, he is.
Nicholas invalid one.
Yeah, Nicholas trying to get back to the pit lane as quickly as possible.
AX row was on the lap. I think he backed off.
Let's see what we've got here. We've got around about 2.5 minutes remaining in the session. All the drivers in the pit lane now are going to be getting themselves psyched up for their final run here. So you're going to see a flood of cars coming out of the pit lane as we got AK Rowe about to begin his lap across the debutant here in P2. Let's see what the Haas can do in towards turn number 1, throwing the car through. Getting a nice run through turn 1. Going to get a little bit of a tow from the car up ahead, who needs to be aware that AK is on a lap in behind. And yes, there we go, getting out of the way. But a cone being knocked up onto the track there. So hopefully AK wasn't a little bit off-put by that. Marginally down in sector 1 for the Haas, as losing quite a lot of the exit curve there through turn 7, but making sure that is all valid. Now through turn 8, DRS wide open again, heading down towards second sector split, and the braking for turn 9 and 10. So 10th down is AK. So that's a good run out of turn 10.
Yeah, I'm following up Alfredo, who was 3 tenths up in his first sector, 2 tenths up in second sector. By that pace, he'll be around top 5, I believe.
We'll jump on board with Alfredo in just a moment's time as AK to the line. We just had Kermit improving up ahead. AK improves up to P10, and now let's jump on board with Alfredo, who is over 2 tenths up, as you mentioned, in the middle sector. But how much has Alfredo gained in the final sector? It's a 16 flat for Alfredo, up to P6. As we got Zondel on a lap, we got Kinney on a lap, we got Jacob, who is also on a lap as well. But I believe Kinney is further along on his lap, so we'll stay on board with Kinney for the time being. Of course,
yeah, Chris was on the lap, but he invalidated in turn 9, turn 10. That chicane is so easy to invalidate, millimeter wide, and you're either spinning or you're invalid your lap time.
Yep, and here comes Kinney now to the line. Is this enough for pole position from Kinney? No, it's not. It's no improvement there. A Zondel there, sideways coming for the final corner. So Zondel's not going to find the time. We have a McLaren of, I believe that's Kermit. Yeah, Kermit coming into the pits. We got an Alpine.
All invalidated, so he won't be improving.
Jacob, a 10th up in the middle sector is Jacob. So Jacob might put the benchmark down. Is it going to be a 0.5? Is it going to be a 0.6? Will it be an improvement for Jacob? And it's going to be a 0.6 as Kinney gets a 5 pace grid penalty for a collision with Rich. But
Jacob 15.6.
yeah, 15.6 there from Jacob. Salo improving by about a tenth. But invalidated is Salo, so no.
Luke is also invalidated.
Yeah.
Luke is 6.
Luke up to P6. Yeah, you are right. As Larkin, one of the final drivers coming through, he has a Sauber in behind him who's on a run as well. So that Sauber is going to benefit from the slipstream, but he's also going to get hit with a dirty air in the final sector here. As Larkin now through the final couple of corners. Jacob looks like he's done enough for pole position, but can Larkin prevent Jacob from taking the pole position here? Larkin to the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 16 flat for Larkin. And I believe that was Nicholas in behind there. Jumps up in the P13. Rich, I believe, contact with...
Rich backed off. Yeah, he had that collision with Kinney.
Yeah, so that is qualifying over.
At all.
That is qualifying over and done with. Jacob, though, taking pole position there with a 15.6. What a lap from Jacob.
What a lap indeed. And qualifying again, we're pretty close. Top 5 within few hundredths of a second of each other. And if it is some indicator for the race, I think we are in for a cracker.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's quickly run you through the order. So we got Jacob on pole with Salo on the front row, Kinney third with Moki in fourth, Zondel in fifth with Luki in sixth, Alfredo seventh, Larkin eighth, Chris in ninth from Kermit, rounding out the top 10. Outside of the top 10, we have Seiko, Jonas, Nicholas, Rowe, Cam K Mum, Alexa, Rich 500, Wade C, and Lawrence going to be starting from the back of the field. So, qualifying over and done with, and what a qualifying session that was. Jacob, what a lap time from him, putting himself right where he needs to be on pole position. But of course, another driver who is looking to make some big waves here tonight is of course a driver that was brought down from P1 in Chris, and we got Chris in the press conference earlier today, and the question was put to him. Welcome, how are you feeling now you've moved into the P2 tier? Do you feel you can challenge for the title, and have you had a chance to communicate with your new teammate about targets for the season? As Chris response said, it's for the best, even though it doesn't suit me as well to race at 6 p.m. Some weeks, but it's okay. I was getting battered by everyone in P1 tier, so there wasn't a point to continue. I won't be able to challenge for the title as I'm 2 races of points down on others, but I hope I can challenge for podiums some week. And I did say hello to my teammate as he's also new to the tier, but he hasn't responded yet. So Chris, obviously coming down, he's going to be expected to be up there amongst everyone towards the front. But as he mentioned, like obviously he's 2 races down in terms of the points. It's going to be difficult for him to overturn like the points that he hasn't got on the board right now.
Yeah, it is. And Chris was really, let's say, down to earth. He was really honest with his expectations. Realistic, that was the word I was looking for. He didn't, promise mountains and lands to himself. He kept everything realistic. Yeah, it will be difficult for him, but we've seen in this season that everything is possible around here, and we are only 3 races in, so maybe he won't challenge for a title, but never say never.
Absolutely never say never. And of course, 2 drivers that were called in because they got a little bit of a rivalry brewing here in P2 is, of course, Luki and Larkin called in to talk about their rivalry. So the question was put to the pair of them. So you guys, admins, going at it in P2 this season, having raced together in the past, who do we feel is the quicker driver, and who will finish ahead out of the pair of you this season? So Luki responded saying, honestly, I think we are pretty close in pace so it's hard to tell who will finish ahead of to who. Austria was a good battle, and I enjoyed it. I can only hope we can continue to have good, clean, fun battles for the rest of the season. And Larkin, with his reply saying, it's hard to say right now, but only one of us has an AOR title to our collection. So a little bit of shots fired there between Larkin and Lukey, which is fantastic to see. And honestly, it's all good fun and everything, but you do love to see a little bit of spice going on right there.
Yeah, a bit of banter never hurted anyone. And seriously, speaking of banter, Loki having a rival. I thought his rival was a wall.
Oof, it's unfortunately, yeah.
Joking.
Unfortunately, I mean, I'm gonna avoid from that. Right. Sorry, you caught me off guard there with that one. Excuse me. Right, but
just joking. Just to clarify, no bad blood intended.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we do have a couple of drivers taking penalties here tonight as well. As I'm quickly just going to check to see which of our drivers are taking the penalties. I believe it was put somewhere. So I'm quickly going to get that. But before I'm able to get that up, let's quickly run you through our sponsors and partners here at One Hub Racing. Of course, our new title sponsor in Delta.app. This is for over 18s only. Your investments, all your investments in one app. Make smarter decisions like the world's top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. If you use the command !Delta in the Twitch chat, or if you're watching this back on YouTube, click the link in the description down below and you're able to track your investments. And of course, Next Level Racing, who of course sponsor the league and providing prizes each season. Of course, they have some fantastic rigs and everything set up to improve your driving ability and improve the immersion of the of your driving out there on any racing game. It's not just F1, any racing game. Of course, sim racing setups, where they provide professional setup bundles for F1 25 created by the top esports drivers. They offer, the dry tires, intermediate, wet setups. See, there's so much you can do, and of course, if you use code OneHubRacing in the checkout, you can get 5% off. And of course, for our driver of the days, they do get vouchers. So if you do win driver of the day, you get a £10 voucher. Of course, driver of the season gets a £100 voucher. So yes, it's definitely going to be fantastic to win each of those. Whether £10 or £100, is going to be fantastic to win that for sure. Pure Sim Gear, of course, using code using code OHR10P in the checkout for 10% off. Of course, Pure Sim Gear sponsors the league, providing socks and of course gloves for the Speedster Award for the combined fastest lap and pole positions, where of course if you take a victory in the Speedster Award, you will be able to pick yourself up a pair of Pure Sim Gear gloves or socks. And of course to Vespertwin as well, who supports our official apparel and provides some great merchandising in their own rights. And of course we have as well Sim Grid, who of course help us in terms of our like the table, yeah, the standings. There we go. Like words have absolutely ran away from me here tonight. SimGrid, of course, without their help, we would be using Google Forms and it'd be an absolute nightmare. And of course, last but not least, to the Mental Health Foundations, our official charity here at Delta.app, One Hub Racing. So with that all out of the way, we are about to get underway in the race, and again, I'm still looking to see where. I'm positive I saw where the what's called the gearbox and engine penalties were, but I'm again, struggling to find it. But
I can't help you with that because my phone battery just died. So sorry.
that is disgraceful. You need to charge your phone. But we are about to get underway in just a moment's time, guys, as we will get ready for 29 laps around Australia. And of course, it's going to be a very, very grueling race for the drivers because there's a lot of high speed corners, very small margin for errors, very easy to pick up the warnings or track limits, very easy to pick up a 3-second time penalty. But also something that has to be mentioned as well, that pit lane entry is also easy to pick up a 10-second speeding pen, but also very easy to pick up a little bit of wing damage on your pit entry.
Yes, indeed. Saying from my personal experience, you need to attack it, but with that corner in the middle of it, you always have a feeling that you're washing out wide towards the wall, that your wheel is not turning enough, and if you put the power down too early, or if you carry a bit too much speed, you have one-way tickets to the wall on the right-hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're going to transfer it over to the action on tracks, we are here now for the 5 red lights to get underway here in P2, and the lights are out, and we are a go, as it looks like a very good start there from Jacob, as Kinney and Mokri there side by side, as we got a little bit of side by side action in the background, and some moves happening. Lukey up 3 positions. Lukey absolutely charging right now.
Yeah, I've been following Wade's.
As Mokri's and Salo also in the mix as well. It's not been a great start for Kinney.
I think Alexa has a front wing damage.
Absolutely, Alexa there with a front wing damage, and of course you see the position changes right there. Let's have a look at the tyre compounds, and there we go. Alfredo on the hards, Kinney on the hards, as Kermit and Nicholas also on the hards, Jonas, Alexa, Rich and Waitsy all on the hards. Everyone else other than Lawrence on a set of the medium compound tyres, and Lawrence has gone completely different. He's on the set of the soft compounds.
Apologies for the misinformation. I found out that the car who has front wing damage is not Alexa, it's Cam. It's Cam. Alexa just went wide there.
Oh, that is not good for Cam this early on into the race, picking up some wing damage. We saw Kinney have a little bit of a look on Salo for P5, but nothing being done as of yet. We see an Aston Martin having a little peek down the inside of Mokri, and as of course Seago there had a little glance down the inside but opted against it, and that is probably for the best. Of course, in the early stages is very crucial to not be caught napping, as what's happened right here, because here goes Kermit down the inside and gets that position there, gonna hang it around the outside, and Seago there goes on potentially having a look on Mokri to losing a spot to Kermit, and now has Chris all up the rear wing.
Yeah, and yeah, again, I was right for the first one. Alexa had a wing damage. Cam had to just slow down for some reason. I don't know for what. As Alexa and Lawrence going side by side, Lawrence going through.
Yeah, Lawrence trying to make the most of those soft tyres while he can. As Alexa,
in and Silla were fighting. In going in 5th for now.
Yeah. Alexa, they definitely would have picked up a warning there on the exit curve, as AK and Nicholas dueling it out side by side coming through turn 12, and Nicholas is going to get that move done, and AK there almost going in towards the back of the Sauber for P12, but fortunately no contact made. Meanwhile, the battling for Kinney and Salo has meant that Kinney has lost DRS and the guys out in front. And Jacob, after that fantastic start, he's broken DRS on Zondel, who's under some severe pressure from our biggest gainer so far in this race in Luki.
Yeah, but Luki is under pressure from Alfredo, who has a fastest lap of 119.1, I think it was, and on hard tires, just to say. So Alfredo,
Here comes Luki.
the best place hard runner, and he is on the charge. As Loki is on the charge, Luki on the zone goes into second, attacking Mr. Zontul.
Yeah, Luki there, fantastic, getting the job done there with DRS. Can now try to just bridge that gap a little bit more. Hopefully Zondel gets put under a little bit of pressure from Alfredo. That's what
Alfredo.
Luki's hoping for, and that's exactly what's happened. Alfredo and Zondel side by side, little bit of contact there made as Alfredo there backs out last second, thankfully. Otherwise, I feel that Alfredo would have gone for a bit of a half spin there if we stuck it in any more. But Luki now gonna try to see if we can reel in Jacob for the race lead, but Jacob right now, he's just having a fantastic time.
Look for over a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 1. It's going to Alfredo's advantage.
Alfredo gonna send one down the inside. Luki will be happy with this, but Alfredo goes too deep and runs too deep, and that's Zondel there for saying thank you very much, I'll take that switchback back. And unfortunately, the game did not like to give us a good camera angle for that little switchback, which is unfortunate. But Alfredo there trying to put the pressure on Zondel, but unable to do so. Zondel having to drain a bit of battery to get back within Luki's range, and we can see the battery usage. Zondel as Kinney and Alfredo there trading positions as Kinney now up into P4. So now it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because we've got both of the Williams drivers now line astern in third and fourth. They're on different strategies, but this is where I think we could see a little bit of teamwork happening.
Yeah, I mean, these two will probably use each other when they have opportunity to do so. It will be smart thing to do. Obviously, two heads think better than one, and that will certainly be an advantage for them coming into as the race progresses.
As Lawrence is into the pits, and obviously on those soft tyres they're not going to really last too long, but Lawrence now I think potentially could be a hard strategy all the way to the end of the race. Now the hard tyres are actually a pretty good race tyre to be on around this circuit. The mediums, they're good, but they do fall away after about 6 laps. So we're going to see Kinney and Alfredo start to pick up the pace and make some moves as here goes Zondel back on Luki. DRS overtake absolutely clean as you like. But these two are running out of laps because these hard tyres are going to start to come into play in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, meanwhile I had the Jacob loving life and lighting the truck up with his pace 1.6 ahead of his competitors constantly, 1.6, and while others are fighting, Jacob is taking advantage and running away.
Yeah, absolutely, and Zondel and Luki, for them to catch up to Jacob, there has to be a little bit of a temporary truce, I think, and just DRS trade each other to try and get that slingshot back into the DRS range of Jacob. But Larkin and Mokri and Kermit overtaking Salah, who's had a bit of a moment, dropping down to P9. But yeah, as I was going to say, I think the Luki and Zondel need to have a little bit of an agreement right now, just to DRS sling each other into Jacob's DRS. But I have a feeling that if Luki is able to get that sling this time round, he may actually be the one to get DRS on Jacob, and I don't think Zondel's going to want that. So we'll see if Zondel's going to put much of a fight on this, and he's not using his ERS. So here we go, there goes Luki. Job done. Simple as you like. Kinney coming through as well, possibly a little tap on the wall for Kinney, and that could open things up for Alfredo. A good run out of turn 10 for the Alpine, but not going to push it to go for the overtake. But there was an opportunity there for Alfredo, and Kinney, a little tap on the wall. Yep, a little bit of a snap for Kinney as he gets onto the exit curb. And are we seeing the dirty air effect starting to affect Kinney here? Because it definitely looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it, and dirt year is a killer, especially with these heavy cars, because then in dirt year your tires get more hit. As we have a spinner, AK Row.
No.
There's one sad Welshman in the commentary box.
There really is. There really is. Obviously, it's still.
But yeah, jokes aside, really unfortunate for AK Row. This will make his life more difficult, but there's a long race ahead of us.
Exactly.
Everything can still happen.
And that was exactly what I was going to say. It's still a very long race to go. You never know what can happen. Like, there could be a safety car, virtual safety car, as Zondel and Luki once again trading positions as they were almost side by side coming into the fast left-right chicane of 9 and 10. But Zondel able to get that move done, and Kinney potentially going to have a little luck here. Kinney down to the inside on Luki, and Luki has
Contact.
yeah, he's had a little bit of contact there with Kinney, but Luki has fallen victim to the
Alfredo
Williams.
is really close.
Yeah, and Alfredo now, obviously on those hard. Yep, there we go. Luki into the pits, and this is what I was going to say with in terms of the tyres now starting to come into play now. The hard tyres as Luki's in. Let's see what tyre compound Luki is going to switch to, and it's going to be a set of the hards for the middle stint. Now
Yep,
Luki will get a nice undercut, so we'll see what happens when everyone else pits.
Yeah, clean air is absolute king around here. Everyone loves a bit of clean air to cool off the tires, cool off the engine. And Luki was not only one to pit. He was followed in by Larkin, Moki, Chris, Siko, Alexa. No, not Alexa. Cam, and AK Row. Is that front wing damage maybe? I don't know. Not too sure.
I mean, we're going to see now the switch between
The weight
the
between Williamses.
And now I think the order for Zondel might be to give Kinney a little bit of breathing space from Alfredo in behind, because now Kinney should have the grip advantage versus Jacob, and we should see that gap begin to fly down. You see it's come down a little bit now through these corners, but it's not coming down massively, as Jacob, I think, will probably come into the pits and respond. No, he's going to sit out for another lap. And Zondel's in.
Yeah, Zonto trying to see will undercut fork.
Well, let's see, where is Luki on track? Luki coming through turn number 12 in towards turn 13 now. Let's see how good this undercut is for Luki. He's got Larkin and Mokri for company.
He'll jump in easily.
Let's see, and you're going to see Zonto. There he is coming out of the pit lane. He's going to be just ahead. He's going to be on the apex coming into turn 1. Oof. That is so close. It's Luki and Zondel there, almost making contact.
And Larkin, two pair of them.
Free wide, heading down into turn 3. Larkin on the outside. We got Zondel on the inside. As we got, this is absolutely elbows out right here between these three. Zondel, Luki, Larkin, managing to make it through turn 3, free wide with no major calamities right there, but Luki stuck behind Zondel, who's opted for setting the medium compound tyres. So this is where Zondel needs to be. He needs to be in that fresh air. He needs to absolutely go now. But DRS is so powerful around here, it's just going to keep these guys with him. And Luki has already gone for the move and gotten past Zondel there. And here comes Larkin. Here comes Larkin, DRS, using a dab at the ERS to the outside line for turn number 11. As here goes Larkin, job done. And the rivalry between the admins, the rivalry between the admins continues as Luki and Larkin are now going to do battle for what could be the potential net race lead as Jacob is in the pit lane. But let's see what happens here. Luki is coming down the pits right now. I think Jacob's going to be fine.
He's safe.
He's going to be fine, but the overspeed that these guys are going to carry through turns 1 and 2 might close that gap up just a little bit, and we're going to see just by how much, as the gap is now down to 1.7. So I think the battling these guys were doing it at turn 3 potentially cost them DRS on Jacob.
Yeah, but maybe they can catch up as Jacob has a traffic ahead in shape of Rich. So depending where Jacob catches Rich, maybe it's not all lost for these guys behind.
Absolutely.
But as I wanted to say, in that battle between the admins, everything's allowed in Love and the War.
As Larkin's gone wide from turn 10 and Zondel will take that position. He got onto the exit curve and Mokri's going to come through now as Luki has just fallen down the order. But a lovely little switchback there from Luki on Mokri as he's going to go to the inside line. Mokri trying to have a little switchback of his own through turn 12 and now through 13.
Wait in the pits.
Yeah, we'd see in the pit lane. Of course, the first of the hard runners to come into the pits. Not ideal for Waitsy, but let's see what he's going to do in this middle stint. Maybe he's got a bit of a long-term strategy going, and maybe we'll see what will happen there. Zondel and Larkin now have broken away from Luki and Mokri, who have fallen by the wayside as Chris and Salo there side by side coming through turn 3.
On the outside of turn 3.
Oh, contact! And Chris is around, and Seiko there has done incredibly well to avoid going into the side of Chris. And is that wing damage on the Aston Martin? No, it's not. So Seiko getting absolutely the favour of the racing gods here today, because he could have very easily have been collected as Mokri gets through on Luki. Up into P10 goes Mokri. But yeah, Seiko there, the racing gods looked down on Seiko and they blessed him here today.
Yeah. Really good reflexes. So yeah, done incredibly well to avoid it. Zemljac je svaka čast. Bit of Croatian there. Don't mind me. As guys were in pits start to slowly come in now. Kermit, Nicholas and Rich being those guys. Jacob in P4, only 1.1 again behind Jonas, who is yet to stop.
Yeah, now
Jacob, as it stands, slowly but safely cruising to the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's a 9.7 gap between Jonas and Alfredo up ahead. So if Jacob makes quick work of Jonas here, then Jacob's going to have all that clear air to push into. But it's going to be a question of, is Jonas going to fight it? And I don't think he is. No, he's not. And it's Jacob there. Smooth overtake there for the race leader, the net race leader, as he flies up into P3 in the race, and obviously the net race lead. Larkin and Zondel still having a little bit of a ding-dong battle going on for P5, but this battling is just allowing Jacob to get further away as Kinney is into the pits.
Yeah, Kinney extending for I think 2 more laps compared to his teammate. Set of mediums going on that Williams. Let's see where he'll come out. Jacob fastest lap.
Sure, there is a downside to the battle. Obviously, the first downside for the battle in between Larkin and Zondel is the time that they lose into Jacob ahead. The other downside to it is the fact that they are giving the likes of Alfredo and Kinney every opportunity to come back at him, as we got Salo and Kinney side by side. A little bit of contact there. Salo going for a bit of a half spin. Lukey says, thank you very much, I'll take P8 off your hands. But what I was going to say, Kinney now, he's not too far away from these guys on fresh mediums, so Kinney is being helped a little bit by the battling going on between Zondel and Larkin.
Yeah, Kinney is already on the attack on his his rival in the Ferrari, that being Moki, and gets the job done.
Larkin being overtaken there by Zondel down in towards turn number 11, and gets all out of shape on the exit.
Having a bit of moment.
And that right there has just allowed Kinney to get within DRS range of these two now.
Yeah, but Larkin and Zondel are like a married couple. They try to get away from each other, but simply they cannot.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go now, lap 14 of 29. Salo and Larkin momentarily side by side as Larkin there, making sure he's able to keep Priestone ahead of the Ferrari. The Ferrari has a good enough run that he can hold off Kermit for the time being. Seco is slowly getting onto the back of this battle, and he's now going to be within DRS of these guys. So it's very interesting because the battle in now is starting to build a couple of gaps going on. So we've got this gap which is for the net P2. Obviously you got Jacob there is in a race of his own. Salo now with a 3-second time penalty. Heartbreaking for the Ferrari, but it looks like he's going to get the move done on...
the switch between Williamses.
Yeah.
Oh, he got closed down by his teammate. Not a good bit of communication there.
There we go. There goes Kinney. He's been released by Zondel to go chasing after Jacob. 5.4 the gap. And this is where we're going to see what Kinney can do on those medium tyres, because he has to get away from his teammate. He's going to hope he can kind of tow his teammate along a little bit, but he cannot match the pace of his teammate, because Kinney has to bring that gap down to Jacob ahead.
Yeah, meanwhile, Alfredo's still staying out.
Does Alfredo know it's a two-stop race? I hope he does, because it would be a heartbreaker now to see him not be classified due to not taking the mandatory two-stop here today, as Luki has been overtaken by Kermit, and it looks like Luki has got a bit of wing damage. I think, yeah, Luki's missing the end plate. He's missing his front left end plate. Luki now falling down the order, a wounded Mercedes here. And Luki is dropping back in this race.
Yeah, unfortunate for Luki. And this will certainly make his life difficult.
Absolutely, as you see, Larkin and Moki, they're getting pretty close on the exit of turn 10. As it looks like Zondel's just got the run on Larkin through that corner, so he's able to defend down into 11. But Kinney has absolutely left his teammate behind.
There goes Alfredo in pace.
Yeah, Alfredo in the pit lane now, so let's see what he's going to go on to. It's going to be, he's going to have to do double medium. It's going to be double medium, surely, but I think he's lost so much time.
Med.
He's lost so much time by staying out for so long, I think.
But again, the tire offset can be really, really huge, so only time will tell did this strategy pay off to him.
Well, we are going to see eventually, as Kinney, the gap between Jacob and Kinney now 4 seconds, the gap between Kinney and Zondel 3 seconds, so that gives you an idea of the pace that Kinney does have over his teammate. But Kinney is not making a bigger a dent in that gap to Jacob as we would have thought early on in those mediums.
Yeah, Alfredo 2.1 seconds behind Nicolas, so he has a good bit of clean air, but also he has a 3-second time penalty, one of the few drivers that has it, so that also makes life more difficult for him, so he needs to gain a really huge amount of time to improve his finishing position. Meanwhile, I had Nicolas and Luki going side by side.
Zondel's in. Apologies for that. I was keeping an eye on the battle between Larkin, Moki and Zondel as Zondel peels out into the pit lane. So he's going in, and here goes Nicolas down the inside of Luki. Luki with that wing damage is going to be compromised on downforce. And Luki there is conceding in yet another position as Alfredo now all over the back of him. And he's going to look to the inside in towards turn number 3 as the Alpine gets the job done. So Alfredo on those fresh medium tyres really starting to push now.
Yeah, next target on his hit list is the Sauber of Nicolas, and he'll get him on this rate, no question. Could see the difference in grip on the exit. Yeah, there we go, as if Nicolas is trying an F2 car.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicholas saying nothing he could do to hold off the advances here of Alfredo, who's all over the back of Seco now, who should be, well, I mean, this close, you'd expect maybe a move down in towards turn number 1, but though Seco goes deep.
There you go.
And oh, a little bit of lag going on there as Seco is now behind Alfredo, a little bit of ghosting.
Larkin fits.
Larkin's in. Hard tyres to the end of the race, and there goes Alfredo. New fastest lap for him as the gap is 2.5 seconds. And you know what? I'm actually going to take back what I was saying about his strategy, saying a little bit too long, because with the way he's closing in right now, he could get in this battle with Mokri, Salo, Kermit for that final spot on the podium.
Yeah, he has 4 laps fresher tires than Kermit, 7 laps fresher tires than Solo, and 8 laps fresher tires than Moki. So tire offset is huge. So he is really making this stint count.
No, Alfredo has not made a 2-stop as of yet. I believe he's only made the 1 stop. I'll just quickly confirm that. Yeah, everyone
I said the stint. Did I say stop?
Yeah, as the only 2 stoppers so far going to the end of the race is Zondel, Larkin, Alexa, Kamke, and Lawrence in this race. So that is the update on the pit stops that have been done so far. As
winner. Kermit. No front wing.
No front wing.
The pits meanwhile.
Is that going to trigger a safety car? No, we're back to green flag racing, but
no for now.
Seco was hoping for a safety car there because he was straight into the pit lane. So yeah, no safety car there, but Kermit there, severe front wing loss on the McLaren, as we now have that gap down to 2.6 between Kinney and Jacob. So Kinney is still closing in on Jacob. We got the last round of pit stops still to come. Can Kinney get himself into a position to take the win? Well, right now Jacob does have a 3-second time penalty, so right now Kinney is in position to take a race win.
Yeah, and
Salo getting very tail happy on the exit of turn 10, and that's an indication of the tyres potentially beginning to fall away from the Ferrari. And now if Moki doesn't pit, I would come in if I'm Salo, because that rear end is looking a little bit too loose for my liking. Jacob is in indeed.
Presumably mediums again, or again hards. Mediums. Safety car.
What has happened there for the safety car to be triggered?
I don't see anyone that required. Maybe some debris, but.
Oh my god, a safety car has been deployed. We're not sure the reason behind the deployment, but lap 20 of 29, a safety car has been deployed here. Jacob has just come into the pit lane. Kinney and Salo are going to be able to come into the pits as well. Same with Alfredo, deploying some fresh mediums to the end. Now, this is where things are going to get very, very spicy indeed. Now, let's have a look and see what you guys are saying in the chat. As J. Cole as commentator Kirstead. He's not commentating, but he's commentator Kirstead. Blame J. Cole. He said Zondol and Larkin are in good positions unless an SC comes out.
Moki drive-through penalty.
Oh, Moki! A drive-through penalty for
Mr.
speeding.
Zondol as well.
We gotta have a look at these penalties as...
Oh, double drive-through penalty for Moki. Am I seeing this right?
Drive-through penalty for Zondol and Moki here. As it has all come undone for the pair of them.
Mr. Zondol just can't catch a break this season. Kinney's in the pits.
Yep.
So he's solo.
Alfredo.
Nearly overtaking solo in the pits.
Zondol again.
Double drive penalty. 10-second time penalty for the chain track limits. What is this?
Okay, I just seen something very interesting there. Salo ghosted for Alfredo, and Alfredo's just running straight through him to get
Mr.
himself...
Zondol out.
Yeah, he retired in the pit lane. Zondel not
Nicholas
happy.
drive penalty now. What is it with drive-through penalties at Australia? Even in P4 we had a couple of them. Today, I don't know for P3, Mike, but seems that the one-hub drivers, it seems that today's challenge is to pick up a drive-through penalty. Because if not, it's like race didn't even happen.
Well, I can say this for a fact. Obviously, the drivers that have picked up drive-through penalties, they are going to be absolutely furious with themselves. But right now, let's reset. Lap 21 and 29, we're under safety car conditions. We got Kinney now in the race lead. He's got 1 lap fresher, medium tyres to Jacob in behind. Jacob does have a time penalty, as I'll get the penalties up for you right now. Jacob with a 3-second time penalty. Alfredo with a 3-second time
Because
penalty.
out during the safety car.
We got Moki with a drive-through. Yeah, we got Moki with a drive-through penalty. Salo, 13 seconds of time penalties for him. We've got Larkin, no penalties at all. Larkin right now is on for a P2 finish. We got Seiko in P7, 3-second time penalty. Lukey with no penalty to his name. As we got Jonas is 6 seconds for him in P9. Chris on debut, P10, no penalties for him. As we've got Kamke, what a recovery from Kamke, mind up into P11, no penalties for Kamke. Kermit 3 seconds, Rich nothing to his name. And then we got Waitsy, Lawrence and AK Rowe were all with 3 seconds. And then we got Alexa with 12 seconds of time penalties right there. And Alexa has gone for a set of soft compound tyres.
You wouldn't expect anything less from Alexa. But I don't think that will work. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, absolutely, we will have to see. We are under safety car conditions, lap 22 of 29. I believe the safety car will come in at the end of this lap, so we will have just a few laps of racing. Of course, we'll go racing lap 23. 7 laps of racing. I had to do maths then, guys. I had to count on my hands. That is how my mind is completely gone right now. I had to do counting on my hands. That is how excited I am for the end of this race, because we got Kinney right now who should theoretically be in prime position to take this race win. But if Kinney picks up a time penalty, it could be right there for Larkin to potentially get himself a race win. Of course, he's currently down in P6. It's all going to be about the restart. We're going to stay on board with Jacob because Kinney is going to control the pace now. So let's see. And Joe, I am going to give you the safety car restart. So if you would like to take us away on the restart, that would be fantastic.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, go grab a drink, go grab something to eat, sit back and enjoy, because we are in for a six laps rumble around Albert Park in the land down under. Kinney taking the safety car role now. Safety are going in the pits. It's all about the Kinney where he goes, and he goes now, catching Jacob napping. Alfredo following as well. Moki and Solo are left behind a little bit. So Kinney leads. Jacob in second, Alfredo in third, Moki fourth, Solo fifth, Larkin in sixth, Siko close to him in seventh, Luke in eighth, Jonas ninth, Chris 10th, Cam 11th, Kermit 12th, Rich 13th, Waitsy 14th, Lawrence 15th, Alexa 16th.
Well,
Kinney doing a really good job now, pulling 6 tenths away from Jacob, who should be more worried about his teammate behind him than Kinney ahead of him.
Well, I tell you what, unfortunately on the safety car restart, it absolutely caught out the Welshman as AK Rowe retires on the race, dropping it in the final corner. Unfortunate for him here on St. David's Day, but he will definitely look to come back bigger and better next time out. But Kinney, a great restart from him. But Jacob and Alfredo are right where they need to be, within DRS range. Just Salo and Moki.
Luki overtaking Siko. Luki with no penalty. If he overtakes Larkin, Luki could be in for the win if Kinney gets time penalty, perhaps.
Yeah, right now we got the admins, the battle of the admins for podium positions right now. Larkin versus Lukey. Ladies and gentlemen, in your chats, get your predictions in. Who wins this battle between Larkin and Lukey? And we are going to find out. Lap 24 of 29. Kinney obviously leading the way. No penalties to his name, but everyone behind him too. Larkin in P5 has a penalty, but they also have DRS, which Larkin does not have. So they could end up dropping out that 3-second window. Time will tell though, as right now Lukey really trying to put the pressure on Larkin for P5 in this race. But yeah, Larkin getting a fantastic run, but this is where DRS is going to come into effect. And speaking of DRS coming into effect, Jacob closing up to Kinney, not going to be close enough for the overtake. But Larkin is going to be under pressure from Lukey as a little bit of contact being made under braking, and here comes Lukey now on Larkin.
That's this early. Oh, bit of a dummy. Outside, inside. Oh, this is close. Oh. The admin war became more intense. Gloves can come off for gentlemen. Gloves can come off.
Yep, the gloves have indeed come off between the admins. Larkin squeezing
Jacob,
Lukey
a moment.
as
Jacob falling into third. You're all kicking in now.
Yeah, as Jacob drops
Sorry
the
for
place.
kicking in again, Mike. But
no, you are good. You are good, mate. Alfredo now ahead of Jacob. Jacob showing the first signs of weakness in this race. And now Alfredo's looked absolutely rapid this entire race. But does Alfredo have what it takes to get through on Kinney? Because right now, even if Kinney does get overtaken by Alfredo, I mean, Kinney's going to be fine. He hasn't really got to fight this on track. He can just take it by penalties. But you know Kinney, he's going to want to win this on track.
Yeah, but I feel Kinney started to die off slowly. At least compared to Alfredo's, looking on how both they tackled the turn 9 and 10 cam penalty, so he won't improve much.
Jonas again underneath the rear wing of Seagull, but Jonas unable to get through. Chris is just there lurking in behind. Back up towards the front. Alfredo closing in on Kinney once again. Quick look at the ERS usage. It looks like Kinney has less to play with.
Yeah, but smart to the tactic from Alfredo, not using ERS but forcing Kinney to use his. So I think he might have gotten into his head rent-free.
Yeah, but Alfredo made an absolute mess of turn 4 and 5 there, so Kinney has managed to build up a little bit of a gap there. As here comes Jacob, going to try to take that P2 back off his teammate with ERS, and there goes Jacob back through into P2. And will Jacob have a little look on Kinney down in towards 11? A little bit of a rear end slide from Jacob, but they're all going to be close and converging on each other. Now in towards P.
Here comes Jacob on Kinney, perhaps.
Oh, Jacob.
A bit too far.
Yeah, he bailed out of that one. He had a little look down the inside, did Jacob, but did not want to commit to the overtake on Kinney. Knew it would have been too high risk for that. Larkin, obviously no DRS. He's dropped nearly 6 seconds off the back of the top 4. So now that podium battle between Larkin and Lukey doesn't look like it is on anymore. But you never know what can happen. Obviously, if these guys start battling like crazy, it could bring them back in. But we are going to see now Jacob trying his best to close back up to Kinney. 4 attempts the gap between first and second. Remember, Kinney does pick himself up 8-time penalty. Jonas is out of the race. Jonas out of this race. Heartbreak for the RB, but you hate to see it. As I was going to say, the battle for the front, if Jacob and Alfredo can force Kinney into a mistake, just put the pressure on, force Kinney into a mistake, and Kinney picks up a 3-second time penalty, this battle for the win will absolutely explode.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. the two most important laps of the season so far for Kinney and Jacob, and we are only in round 3.
There goes Lukey and Larkin again back at it. The admin's doing battle, but Larkin again able to hold Lukey off. And at this point, Larkin's tyres will start to come into their own just a little bit versus Lukey's. So Lukey now could be coming under pressure from the likes of Seiko and Chris. Penultimate lap of the race now. Kinney still doing a fantastic job out in the race lead. Jacob trying everything he can to get back in this, as Alfredo is also trying to make sure he can get himself a P2 in this race. But Salo is just sitting there lurking right now. Obviously, he's not pushing for any overtakes. Could Salo potentially get himself ahead of one or if not both of the Alpines at the end of this race?
Yeah, but I mean, Salo does have 13 seconds of in-game penalties now, but obviously that can get reverted after all the stewarding has been done. But here comes Jacob Kinney.
Jacob getting done on Kinney, a body slash. We got a Aston Martin in the back of Alexa that has gone round. Since our first race in Spain, it looks like that has really knocked the confidence of Alexa, because Alexa's not been the same since our first round in Spain. With the pace was just there, but just the unfortunate timing of a safety car really destroyed Alexa's race. But yeah, Alexa really struggling out there, and now Jacob leads onto the final lap of the race.
Yeah, now Jacob will be hoping that his teammate gets involved in that really quickly.
I mean, what Jacob needs here is Kinney to get hit with a little bit of the dirty air to pick up a warning that turns into a 3-second time penalty, and then Jacob can focus on just bringing it home. Right now he's bringing it home in P2, which is a fantastic result, but is one step lower than what he would have wanted. And right now it's looking like it's going to go the way of Kinney here. We'll see, we're coming up towards turn 9 and 10 again for the final time here tonight in P2. It's looking like it is going to go the way of Kinney. We've got 4 more corners on this track through turn 11. Closing up is Kinney on the back of Jacob. It's Kinney now through the penultimate corner, and for the final time around the final corner, it will be Jacob that will take the win out on track. But due to the 3-second time penalty, it will be Kinney that's on the top step of the podium. It is going to be a double Alpine podium, as Larkin will cross the line ahead of Lukey up in the P4, as Chris up in the P6, Lukey P5, Seago to P7, Kermit P8, Salo with our time penalty drops all the way down to P9, Rich in the P10, Cam K 11th, and Lawrence picking up the final point paying position in P12. What an end to that race. Kinney just showed what it takes to win here in P2. You just don't make the mistakes, don't pick up the needless time penalties, and you're in good stead come the end of the race.
Yeah, Kinney really played it to perfection. Really intelligent race from the Williams driver, and he took and he deservedly took his win. I think his first win of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I believe so. I think it is his first race win of the season. We'll have to quickly fact check that. But in the chat, I've just been informed that Lukey had no force feedback after the safety car. Which
really incredible job from Lukey then, but still wasn't enough to win the admin war.
No, it wasn't. But let's quickly run you through the results here in P2. It is Kinney with the race win ahead of Jacob in second place and Alfredo completing the podium. Larkin in P4 with Lukey in P5, Chris in P6, Seiko in P7. P8 goes the way of Kermit and Salo with the fastest lap of the race in P9. P10 is going the way of Rich, with P11 going to Cam K, and the final points paying position going to Lawrence. P13 for Wade C, 14 for Moki, 15 for Alexa, Jonas. Unfortunately, 3 laps down. And of course, we had Axro, Nicholas, and I believe Zondel all DNF in there towards the end of the field. But my oh my is going to be difficult now to pick up a Driver of the Day nomination, but I'm going to go to you first. Who is your sim racing setup driver of the day, Ivan?
Sim racing driver of the setup, sim racing setup driver of the day. I can't speak. This is how excited I am. I still cannot believe what I've just seen. But my driver of the day is going to be Kinney. And my question to him will be: congratulations on your win. What are your thoughts on that safety car restart? And how did you feel some pressure of what was your basically, let me just rephrase that. How did you feel on that safety car restart?
Okay. A very interesting question there for Kinney. I am stuck between 2 drivers to give my driver of the day to. Because the one driver had a fantastic race all the way up until the safety car. And the other driver had a fantastic result and ended in P4. So I'm stuck between Jacob and Larkin. So I am going to flip a coin if I got a coin near me. I do not have a coin near me. No, I do have a coin.
I know. I think they're both in the... No, they're not both in the lobby. I thought if they're both in the lobby, you would just play any, mini, mini mode.
No, I can't do that. Right, we got to flip a coin. Flip a coin. Is it going to be Lukey or is it going to be... And it is... Sorry, not Lukey. Is it going to be Larkin or is it going to be Jacob? And it has gone to Jacob. And of course, the question I am going to put to Jacob is: a great race, mate. You showed incredible pace throughout the entire race up until the safety car. Was that the moment where everything just fell apart? And how was it battling with the 2 Alpines towards the end of the race? So that is my question.
As your driver of the day.
Yep, Jacob, my driver of the day.
And your question was how is he fighting your the 2 Alpines? He is in the Alpine.
No, he's not.
Or is it just a misheard?
Sorry, no, sorry, my bad. Yeah, he was in the Alpine. That is correct. Yeah, I was here fighting Kinney and your teammate. Sorry, my bad. Oh my god, I'm an absolute mate tonight. An absolute mate. But I just saw Larkin in the chat saying do it for AOR. Sorry, Larkin. The coin does not lie. But that is going to bring an end to the action here in P2. Again, a massive shout out to our sponsors and partners here at Delta.app, One Hub Racing. Of course, our title sponsor at Delta.app, to Next Level Racing. Of course, Sim Racing Setups. Pure Sim Gear, as well as Vespa Twin, and of course Sim Grid, and of course our charity at the Mental Health Foundation. Of course, we will be back for round number 4 at Silverstone, which obviously the home of British motorsport is going to be a very interesting one, and I am very much looking forward to that one. Ivan, how about you?
Unfortunately, I'll be Silverstone will be the second race I'll miss this season, second and the last one, because my favorite football club is playing the Derby match that day, and I have season tickets, so I don't want it to, I don't want to not to use it.
Well, I mean, obviously, good luck for your team next week. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to bring an end to the action here in P2. Make sure you tune back in around about 5 to 10 minutes time for P1, where of course Jess Bull and Jamie will be taking you through the action there. I have been Michael Edwards. He has been Ivan Tonsek, and we'll catch you next time out for Silverstone. Until then, guys, it's goodbye from the both of us.